So, you're in some debt. But good news for you, after 2020 and 2021, your house is worth a lot more than it used to be. So the smart move is to go get a Heloc and let your home equity work for you and pay off that consumer debt at a lower rate, right? Well, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Jay Casa, if you weren't aware already, and I'm a real estate agent, investor, and developer here in Northern New Jersey. I think I say that in a different order each video depending on how I feel that day. But anyway, if you get any value out of this video, please hit that like button down below, and also consider subscribing to our channel. We're slowly building a really cool, close-knit community here of real estate investors, especially ones that are trying to use a home equity line of credit in order to build wealth in real estate. Now, onto the video. So first, let's go over what a Heloc is. If you have not checked out my previous Heloc videos, I'll put a link in the description box down below, as well as up in the corner of the video right now. In these videos, I go over what a Heloc is, how to use one, how to obtain one, as well as how to build wealth in real estate using a home equity line of credit. So definitely check those out if you want to learn more about a home equity line of credit. But as a general overview, a home equity line of credit, or a Heloc for short, is basically a revolving credit line based on the equity that you have in your home. So if your house is worth, let's say, 600 grand and you still owe 400 grand on the property on your first mortgage, that means you technically have 200 grand, $200,000 of equity in your home. Now, a Heloc lender would generally lend out about 75 to 80% loan to value. So that would leave you about $80,000 of potential equity that you have access to through a home equity line of credit, or a Heloc. I go over all of these basic details in one of my Heloc videos. I'll put in the link up here, as well as in the description box down below. And a Heloc is basically like a credit card. You can kind of use it on whatever you want. And that brings us to the topic of this video, how you should use your Heloc, and more specifically, should you use it to pay off consumer debt that you may have? And this seems to be one of the most common questions I get, and one of the most common ways that people choose to use their home equity. That is to pay off their consumer debt, or just other debt as well, like student loan debt, car loans, anything like that. But most notably, we're talking here about credit card debt. And frankly, I get why, because what do they charge? Like 25% of interest on any balance that you may have? So even with Heloc rates much higher than they were a couple years ago, they're still probably hovering at around 8% or something like that, which is a substantially lower interest rate than what you'd find on any credit card out there. So many people in this scenario like to do what's called debt consolidation, where they're taking debt from a whole bunch of other different sources and consolidating it into one source, in this case, a Heloc, at a lower interest rate. Let's say you do this, you'll be paying a much lower interest rate on the Heloc than compared to the credit card debt. So this is a no-brainer, right? Well, here's the issue. In theory, this should always be done, because if you could save money on interest, that allows you to pay off the debt that you have quicker and easier. But in reality, all this may do is open up credit card lines for people yet again. That way they slowly start to add up and build even more consumer debt and find themselves not only in the same position as before, but worse, because now you have credit card debt and the consolidated debt that you put in a Heloc. That sounds like financial Armageddon to me. This is obviously for people that lack the discipline and self-control, but generally speaking, if you find yourself in a situation where you built up a lot of consumer debt, generally speaking, those people do often lack the discipline and self-control that's needed to get out of debt, or else they wouldn't have got into it in the first place. In addition, not to get all Dave Ramsey on you here, let's say you take your consumer debt and put it into a Heloc and pay off your consumer debt with your Heloc. That may give you the mental impression that you actually did something or accomplished something to start tackling this consumer debt, when in reality you didn't do anything other than move the debt from one place to another. And saving money on interest may not be the biggest issue that you have in that scenario. The biggest issue is putting your head down and paying off that consumer debt as quickly as possible and completely changing your mindset with how you see money. Now, that's not to say that there's no positives at all to consolidating consumer debt into Heloc. There certainly is. Of course, saving on interest is reason number one, but you're also able to simplify your debt payments if you're serious about paying it off. You're able to simplify your debt payments by having it all in one place, because many people find it easier to tackle if it's all in one spot and it's simple and easy to do. In fact, according to a recent poll done by US News and World Report, about 69% of people that consolidated their debt found themselves in a better financial situation afterward, citing reasons such as they were less stressed about making the payments, being able to put more money towards paying off other debts, as well as being able to take more of their income to contribute to both savings and retirement. That's all good stuff, but it should be known that this poll was asked in regards to a personal loan, a debt consolidation loan, not a home equity line of credit. It'd be very interesting to see how those people feel when their home was on the hook for the debt that they had. I would bet that it would be a little different, because there's a difference between a home equity line of credit where you could lose your house and a personal loan where it's really just a personal guarantee. If you want a more in-depth video comparing those two about that, let me know in the comment section down below. It's important to realize here that everyone's different. We're all different as people. We all have different situations. And each of us has different strengths and weaknesses that help or hurt us every day. Some are able to put their head down and get out of a bad financial spot, and others find that retail therapy is therapeutic. But let's say, for instance, you had to go into a big, hefty amount of consumer debt. Let's say an emergency happened where you needed to drop a ton of money, and the quickest way to access that money was through a credit card. And you wanted to pay off this money, this debt, as quick as possible. In that scenario, as long as you have the discipline and you know that you do, it may be worth it to consolidate it into a HELOC in order to save on the rate. But if it's normal consumer debt that you've slowly built and accumulated over the years through lack of a budget and lack of discipline, I would advise against using your HELOC to pay off this consumer debt completely. Because while in theory it makes sense in dollars and cents, in reality, all you'll be doing is setting yourself up to make the same exact mistake again. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Have you consolidated your debt at all? And how did you do it? And if you used a HELOC, let me know as well in the comment section. And how did it work out? Were you able to control yourself from finding yourself in the same bad financial spot with all this consumer debt? Or was it a good vehicle to pay off this consumer debt quicker and easier from one place? Let me know in the comment section down below. And any feedback about the channel and about these videos that I'm making, let me know in the comment section. That's the best way for us to communicate. I've had a lot of good feedback from you guys. If you have any other topics you want me to cover in real estate investing or anything like that, drop a comment, or you can always email me. I will see you next time.